Deathstroke number 9, written and art by Rob Liefeld. Oh, God. So, it's a pretty short one overall to describe. Last issue, who cares? It was a different writer and artist. Doesn't matter. This issue, we open up with a bunch of mob families all meeting up and saying, hey, so Deathstroke's been killing off like a lot of our day-to-day operations, so we need to hire an even better mercenary who's going to kill Deathstroke. It's going to cost us $10 million, but is everyone agreed? And they're all like, yep. And then they hire a guy named Deathborn, I believe it is. Deadborn. But he's not actually part of this story, so just letting you know that's there. This issue picks up with a complete character shift where it turns out Deathstroke, everything he does is because he's really sad that he lost his wife, and he's been trying to fill that void. He's not just saying this, like, this is his internal monologue. This is him talking to himself. And by the way, he's now really snarky all the time, too. So, thanks, Rob Liefeld. Anyway, he gets attacked by as he's mourning his wife in a graveyard, he gets attacked by some alien cat-looking thing, and he uses his super reflexes to stop it dead in its tracks. And then he sees he's surrounded by a bunch of different guys in ninja suits, so he puts on his armor, which I guess he just has to say armor on, and it comes on. And he starts fighting them off with his power staff, which again, they're just throwing all this out there. And I understand it's the start of technically a new run, and he has to explain a bunch of different powers and stuff, because he goes through the whole thing of, like, I was experimented on, and now I have reflexes, and blah, 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 blah. But, like, it's really not good the way that he's like, here's why I'm great. So anyway, as he's fighting across these guys, he's suddenly just picked up into the air, and there's apparently a telekinetic guy who's just holding him up there. Some more reinforcements arrive, and he's like, did these idiots honestly think that I'd bury my wife with all the normal just riffraff and scum? No, I own this whole hill, and all the other gravestones here are all just markers for bombs. And he presses a button, and the whole hillside explodes, taking out all these ninjas. So then as he does so, he realizes that, like, oh, these guys were just looking to, like, test my abilities. Someone here just wants to, like, hire me. I know this gig. So then we see the guy, and it's the cat alien, a woman with purple hair, and then a dude who looks straight out of the 90s. Just they're standing and be like, hey, yeah, we just need your attention. We realized that you would take the time to dispatch us, and we already have done whatever, blah, blah, blah. So basically, the guy's showing up saying, here's the thing. We have an extremely difficult deal. We want to hire you. We need you to catch an alien, and we are willing to triple your highest rate in order to do so. And this guy that you're after is the greatest predator in the galaxy. So we figured we'd hire the best mercenary on the planet. Deathstroke's like, all right, you've stroked my ego. Tell me more about who you are. And these kids, the ones that are with this main guy, 90s guy named Maxim, the girl is named Callista, who can project things. There's Tygor, who is a Tygor. And then there's Primus, who has telekinetic abilities. And together they are the Omega Youths, which I'll get to. So Deathstroke, Peabody walks up and says, like, hey, Deathstroke, are you taking this job? And he goes, yep, Peabody, I'll keep in touch. And then he just leaves Peabody, so sure. So anyway, they get into a helicopter, and while they're in the helicopter, Deathstroke's like, if anything happens to me, I've released my entire body to explode, right? And he's like, cool, that's why we want to work with you, Deathstroke. So then they arrive at some facility or something like that where they keep extraterrestrials because they just store aliens here. And they're introduced to someone named Zealot, who is a white-haired woman in a skimpy red suit. And apparently she is the, like, lead security officer for this particular building. And Deathstroke's like, she's like, Deathstroke? There's no way he's going to be good enough to hunt a Zarnian. And Deathstroke's like, excuse me, you're the one who let him out. And she's like, excuse me, I don't work at the building that let him out. I work here. Shut your face. And Basically, they just lay down the law that the Omegas and Zealot have to be in this story. Deathstroke is not allowed to leave them behind. They have to come with. That's part of the deal. It's apparently insurance just in case Deathstroke isn't up to the task, because somehow these other guys will be. So they set up these deals, and Deathstroke wires over the money, they wire the money to Deathstroke, and then they show the video of exactly what happened. And they show Lobo. It's Lobo, the main man, in his introduction to the New 52. Apparently he crashed into the New Mexican desert some many years ago, and they've been holding him ever since, but he's been slowly but surely breaking through every one of the restraints that they put on him, until finally they have literally the strongest thing they have on him, and he still busts out. And he immediately takes the opportunity to kill every single person in the building. He punches, they show very graphically him punching through people's faces and ripping them in half. And he says, he just looks dead at a camera and says, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my starship, I'm going to rendezvous with Sheba, and then I'm going to activate a world breaker to blow this planet to bits. But first things first, Director Maxim, I'm coming for you. And that's where we leave off, is that he made this personal. So, I don't have a lot of love for Lobo. I haven't read a lot of Lobo comics, so I can't say whether or not this is in character. I feel like it isn't. I haven't read a lot of Wildstorm outside of New 52, which I know Zealot is from, so I don't really have a lot of love for Zealot. But I feel like they messed her character up pretty bad too. But the one that gets me is that one of the few New 52 comics I read was Tom King's Omega Men, which was a very good look at war and stuff like that. And then this takes those characters and says, no, actually, they're part of a stupid teen team that all are working for a shadowy government organization. And I'm like, oh wow, you mean like every other character you've introduced over the New 52? I'm shocked. Ugh. I don't like it. And the Rob Liefeld art is not helping the Rob Liefeld words. So literally nothing in here is good. Also, at the beginning of the book, Deathstroke, he's sad about his wife, and he's saying, oh, I might be hanging up my armor if something cool doesn't happen. And of course, something cool happens. And it's just none of this feels like the Deathstroke I've gotten to know for 8 issues. The new writer came on and just says, no, actually, he's sad. That's why he does things. That's why he acts out. No, he's an asshole. Treat him as such. This gets a 4. No, this gets a 3.5, actually. Because 4 I have listed on my paper is passable. I don't think this is passable. This is 3.5. It's just not good, and I am not looking forward to this thick-ass trade of Rob Liefeld. Dear God.